Hey, HTDA, and today we're playing some more StarRupture. Now, I'm actually confused. Which of my save games am I supposed to do? I think it's this one. I haven't really been playing that much over the past few days, and I decided that in the time I did have, I would do some more exploring, because honestly, I had pretty much done, I think, 2 full streams of exploring last time, and yeah, I want to do some more factory building. So, the exploring actually went pretty well. So for those of you who are kind of following along, let me see. Here we go. This is the map. And I went all the way, kind of like I was kind of following the edge of the map, the edge of the current map that is. Following some scanners to clear up some more of this area as well. I visited several bases actually. I don't think I could actually reach this base, I don't remember. This one I could reach, it was kind of hidden away. A couple of blueprints in there that I already had, so nothing too special. What else did we have? So, right, I explored a whole bunch here. Nothing too much of interest, but I did get back to this base, Spore the Rock, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I actually haven't checked. I think I picked up the recipe for the chemicals there. So let me check if that is actually the case, because I don't think I've actually turned it in yet. Let's see. By the way, if you are following along in the chat, by all means drop by and say hi, of course. Now, let's see. We have the blueprint for synthetic silicon and electronics, as you can see. So we can now actually start making both of these things. Well, first we need to make this, of course. And yeah, we do also have the recipe for chemicals. We already had the one for hardening agents, and we don't apparently need one for super magnets. So, assuming we can unlock whatever this is, sulfur, I think. Yeah, sulfuric acid. Then, yeah, we can start unlocking a whole bunch of stuff, hopefully. I also got a few more levels. Let's see. I got an inventory upgrade, I think, from this one. I don't remember what the other one was. Well, not this one, apparently. I'm still working on this one. This is the one that's currently very slowly leveling up on helium, of all things. So you can see this is going to go way too slow to really be effective, but you know, we're almost there. By the way, I have 125k. Well, I actually don't know what the resource is. What do we call this? Research or something like that. So I could actually just unlock almost a full level here if I needed to. But I'm going to save that up because we might want to do that to kind of push through the end. By the way, if you're joining, then come and say hi in the chat. I also did a couple of other things, by the way. Not really anything major, just kind of the boring stuff. So I was kind of running up and down all the way to my main base, back to where we started once we left the launcher, to pick up some building materials. Now, I set up this receiver over here to receive some of those materials, so I should be able to pick them up a little bit easier. Now you see everything is empty here. That is because I already cleared it out. I also made myself a whole bunch of ammo, including shotgun ammo. So I am now running around not just with a machine gun or whatever you want to call this. This is a rifle, I guess. But also with a shotgun. Now, I haven't actually tried out my shotgun. This thing takes forever to reload, apparently. But yeah, this should be interesting if we do some more combat. Speaking of combat, I left this in my inventory just to prove I did it. Look, I killed one of the Goliaths. It's actually not so hard once you stop panicking, first and foremost, and as long as there's not too many other creatures around, because honestly that was the main problem. But they seem to have a hard time keeping track of you as long as you just keep moving. So, speaking about keeping the movement on, what do we need to do all the things I want to do today, which is mostly making some actual progress? We need to set up, I think it was the furnace? Wasn't the furnace like below this in the technology tree before? I don't know. Anyway, we need a furnace for synthetic silicon, but in order to make that, we actually need to unlock it. So we need some ceramics, some calcium powder, okay, and a whole bunch of helium. Oh, this is going to be interesting because I think I don't have that much supply of that over here, which could be a little bit annoying. So let's go check what we have in our main base over here.
Agua.
Also, by the way, let me know in the comments if you have any plans for the weekend. Actually, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing this weekend. Let's see. What do I need from all of this? None of this, none of this. None of this. We do need the ceramics, so let's pick that up. Why is this empty? We're not getting any tubes. That's worrisome. Might need to double check what's going on with that, but not for the moment. Am I not? Apparently I'm not importing any helium over here. That might actually be in my other factory. However, oh, the tubes are actually still being... Oh, we're making something still from those tubes. Okay, let's pick up some more ceramics. And just grab that out of the buildings over here. That will just be replaced in the long run. I actually didn't check how much I needed. I think it should be enough, right? And then we should be able to unlock that. Now, let's make sure we do this first. And then we will get some helium and ceramics from the other place. It's right next door. I think it's that base where we're importing it, so right around the corner. Hey, Rocket Royale, you have a question. And do you plan a new Master Plan Dinosaur program playthrough this year? Well, I'm kind of waiting for an update to the game. Speaking of which, I think there was an update like yesterday or something like that. However, that was just introducing, I think, something like pylons that you can use to kind of mark your map, so it didn't really impact the gameplay at all. I really like Dinosaur program, but it feels like I've kind of explored most of the content that there is now. I'm still hoping we'll get the update with the space stations sometime soon. It's been announced way back. I think it's like 1.5, maybe 2 years ago. I actually lost count, it's so long ago. So if there's a significant update to the game, then I will definitely be playing that again. Let's see. The main issue I always have with games is that I really like playing games I like, obviously, but I kind of need a reason to go back to a game. Oh, this is convenient. This is both of the things we need.
Great.
I don't like playing a game without a clear purpose. Give me an open world game where you have, like, you can do anything you want. I kind of had that problem actually in No Man's Sky. You can go anywhere you want, do anything you want. Great. But, what am I supposed to do? Yeah, anything you want. But I want a goal.
I'm detecting increased Ruptura activity.
Oh.
Prepare for a wave.
Well, this is a weird base. I actually don't remember building this one, but let's see. Let's set up a recipe station. That's the one I was looking for. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Oh, you never made it to the end. Well, then you still have something to do. We need so much helium. I might actually have to set up like a storage to siphon some of that off. I'm gonna get myself killed, aren't I? Nah, we'll be fine, right? More helium. Oh, the helium is gonna be a bottleneck like I expected, but okay. Okay, I guess that's fine. Let's make sure we grab all the helium we can from over here. It's not that bad. We have quite a bit of helium in here, actually. Let's try not to push it too much. Otherwise we're gonna get ourselves killed. Yeah, the wave is already here, so... Furnace. Oh. Oh, hello? What's going on with this thing? It's bugging out on me. Okay, we actually have all the helium. Well, for that one anyway. So 100 more of that, and then we actually need to produce some stators. Are we still producing those? I actually don't remember.
Ruptura's eruption has started. Prepare for
That's probably in the production somewhere. was one of the first like high-tech things I produced.
Extreme temperature detected.
What I do like about the StarRupture program updates, by the way, is that they are very actively trying to optimize the game as well, which, you know, in factory games is kind of a big deal. Oh, I am very low on hydration, actually. Okay, anyway, you've seen that I have the your Goliath thing. I am not sure what I'm doing. Let's see. Can I fit it in over here? Why do I have 3 doors in this thing? Also, why did I just build that in front of there? Hold on. This makes no sense. Oh, I can't actually delete the door while it's hot. I guess that makes sense. Oh well. Yeah, StarRupture program actually runs on PCs that can't handle some of the other factory games out there, especially the larger games. Now, I do have to admit, with StarRupture program, you will break your PC at some point. I mean, not necessarily, not break your PC literally, but, you know, the game does become quite FPS or GPU heavy. I'm actually not sure if it's the GPU or the CPU. That might be the CPU giving out first. But anyway, that's just a matter of how large can I make my sphere or my factory before, you know, things come to a crawl. Yeah, I have enough. Okay. That is great. Actually, before I leave here, is it this thing that is getting in the helium? Yes, it is. Okay, that's good. Then what I'm gonna do, let's go to the thingies. There we go. My English today is awesome. The thingies. You know, the thingies. Go easy on me, guys. It's been a very long week. It's been a good week, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. But it has been a very long week, and I'm looking forward to the weekend, for sure. Let's see. Can't I store helium? Oh, I was about to say, can't I store helium in here? Why is this not working? It doesn't seem to register that it's connected to something that can get it helium. That is very weird. Does it help if I do it like this? I am not 100% convinced this is going to work. Well, yeah, no, it now says that it is available, so it should work. I'm just not sure why it's only supplying on one side, but that might be because it's already designated these items to go somewhere. Anyway, it's fine. We'll figure it out once we get back. It's probably going to be fine. Let's see, Necrogod, you picked this game up as well, waiting for a bit more quality of life. Copy-paste recipes. Yeah, well, you honestly don't need to build that much in this game, but copy-pasting of the recipes would be a nice quality of life. I completely agree. Unless there is some keybind that they didn't tell us about that already does that, because for some reason this game sometimes tends to do that exactly. There's a couple of keybinds in the game that are very useful and no one tells you about, so. Why synthetic silicon still? Oh, hold on, I'm an idiot. I didn't unlock it yet. I did get the materials, but I actually have to unlock it still. But yeah, the StarRupture program is really nice about optimizing things to make sure you can at least play as long as possible. But the scale of the game, especially the sphere with all the solar cells in it and stuff like that, slows things down. Although they have massively optimized that already compared to how it was in the beginning. So yeah, Let's see. Okay, what do we need? Synthetic silicon. We need calcium powder, helium, and ceramics. Okay then. We might actually need to set up more helium production as well. We're gonna... Oh, this base is gonna grow insanely large. Let's see. Can I extend this even further? I think so. That's the other safe bugging me out. That's okay. All the safes are nice. Okay, so we are going to add some synthetic silicon to this. Let's go down a little bit because a bit far away now. I think that the ground is just a little bit too much here. Really? Really? Okay, in that case, because it's gonna slope down even further on this side, oh no, that's not the one I wanted to delete. We are probably going to have to bring the entire factory down a little bit. Well, not the entire factory, just this part of it. I try to keep everything as level as possible, but you know, that is just not going to happen in this case. Are we gonna do it like this? Yeah, 2 levels down should be fine. Let's make sure we keep this one aligned. I think this should be fine. Is it? It's gonna be close, to be honest. Well, we can cheat a little bit. What we can do is do this. I mean, we need to have things pass over each other anyway, so let's do it like that. And then we can continue building at this level. So then we'll do that, 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 that. This is at this point it's becoming a bit a rinse and repeat. For progress. What is the game about that you're playing? And oh, you don't know anything about this. Oh, so Rocket Royale. This game is called StarRupture. It is very similar in the way to Satisfactory, in the way that we are playing first person. Although you do unlock a drone that allows you to kind of build from the sky, which is quite nice. But you don't have that from the beginning. It's after a couple of hours, I think, you unlock that. The main idea is that we are on a planet and we are here to pay off our debt to the corporations, and we are literally paying off the corporation by sending them material. So there's actually kind of a reason why we're doing what we're doing in this game. There's a little bit of story, not too much, but there is a bit of story still in the game, and yeah, there is also some explosions happening every now and then that require us to hide. So you can see this is kind of a bleak place, but things will get better in a moment. In a few minutes you'll see that plants will start to grow, water comes out, and yeah. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of combat going on in this game in particular. Maybe a little bit more than I would have preferred, to be honest, but it is what it is. Now, I actually forgot. We needed to bring in helium, so we need at least one of these importers. So, let's lock in this height. Well, actually, I kind of want this to be at this height still. And then the next one we'll bring down. The nice thing is I can actually reach this now. So, we are making this here. We need calcium powder to get here, ceramics, and helium-3. And we actually do also need to bring in the calcium powder because we just found out we don't have that here. Is this level? Is this level? Right. Is it supposed to be level though? Hold on. Yeah, no, it's not supposed to be level. I was about to say, we didn't leave one space in between. So let's make sure we keep doing that. I'm having to fight controls a little bit because this is not working like I wanted to. I want this over here. There we go. And then I want you at this height. And over there. Okay. I think that is what... Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. Let's have some more connectors. Civilization is expanding your task with building on... Yeah, no, yeah, sort of. We're not really expanding. This is actually a very corporate game. So we are just here to service the world, or the corporations to be specific. And if we're good, then we'll get stuff from them. I do need... Hold on. I do need ceramics, which I already have somewhere in this facility. Now the real question is where... Can I build a ladder here? Oh, I can. That's very convenient, actually. Which one of these is... This is the plates. This is also plates, if I remember correctly. Glass. Ceramics. Okay, this one. So, we are probably going to have to do this through the other side. Well, actually, maybe not.
Raptura status, stable. Arcadia status, stable.
So we can actually go on top. Building is colliding with something. With what? Is there like a ladder in here or something? Hold on. I'm just trying to connect the belt here, or a rail. Okay, that doesn't work, but that makes sense. Why can't I build it here? Oh wait, I switched to the other one? Hold on. Oh man. I tried to keep my things neat, although this is still turning into a spaghetti, to be fair. There we go. I don't know why that didn't work the first 5 times I tried it, but I guess as long as you just keep trying hard enough. Now the real question is, how do I get this to connect up? Do we just do it like this? I guess we do. Okay. And then we connect this one up to that. Which I do kind of... Hold on. Let's make sure we keep that as neat as possible. So do that like that. Like so. Like so. So for those of you who are watching that haven't really seen this game, the nice thing about this game is it has sort of smart conveyor belts in a way. So these conveyor belts, as you can see, even though I already connected them up to some stuff, there's nothing on these belts. Only materials that are actually going to be used by a building requesting it somewhere on this belt are going to receive any items. So you don't really have to clean up your belts and things like that, which is honestly really convenient. I also need to make sure I start requesting some materials. So let's say this is going to be helium, and then this one is going to be calcium powder. And then I'm gonna connect the first machine up. And the second machine as well. And then I'm gonna make sure we're actually requesting those materials before I continue building anything else. Just to make sure everything starts working. That is going to be more efficient than doing it the other way around, I think. Now the calcium powder I can request from right over there, so that's going to be really easy. Yeah, oh yeah, like you said, NecoGod, everything is pull-based rather than push-based. That's a good way to describe it, actually. At the same time, that also makes building a large factory kind of obsolete. You don't really need to do that because, you know, you only need to build the stuff you actually need. And there's no reason I actually need to go here, I think, for the calcium powder. Yeah. Because it's very easy to kind of like just oversupply yourself. We need a cargo dispatcher. Let's build that over there. This one should be the output port. There we go. How are we doing on power? Do we still have enough power? Looks like it. This is going to export calcium powder to the calcium powder thing. There we go. You can immediately see that as soon as I selected that this needed calcium powder was being introduced into the system. So that's really nice. Let's make sure that is working, and then we need to actually take a little bit of a walk because let's store my gun because that makes us walk a little faster. Because yeah, we are going to need helium, and the helium is a little bit further away. This is one of the things I would really prefer this game to have, and that is a way to transport yourself a little faster. The helium is over there, so let's go there. Some sort of vehicle maybe in the game. I mean, you can jump around, you can slide around even. From that perspective, it's the movement is pretty good, but it does get a bit tedious when you have to cover large distances. So yeah, some sort of maybe... Actually, I think what would be the most interesting way to do this, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's the most interesting way, the most convenient way for sure, is to have teleporters. Something that you can set up as soon as you set up a base, and you can see all these bases. I've set these bases up while I was exploring. But maybe make it so that you can place down maybe a very expensive teleporter. Maybe it requires a lot of power or something like that. But some sort of way to teleport. Maybe that is actually in the game. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, the setup is not ideal, I think, as it is right now. It's just too slow. But we're almost there. It doesn't help that you can sprint, but you do have stamina, as you can see, so... Yeah, running long distances is just not working. Anyway. Not the end of the world. So, we have a dispatcher here. I'm actually gonna double up on the dispatchers because I think otherwise we might get into some issues later. Can I fit in? Oh, why? Why? Okay, hold on. Let's flip that around. Let's delete that one then. Why am I trying to do this neat? I don't know. It's just who I am. I like making neat bases. Let's see. Even goes for my supply bases. We can probably take this one out now. And then let's put in another rail connector over here, and then this. Hello? This connects to this one. And this connects to that one, and then we go there. Okay, that's that. Same thing over here. It almost looks like I prepared that. I wish I was that smart. Okay, helium goes to... Ooh, what did I call the other one? Helium to calcium. Oh, okay. I'm happy I gave it a different name because I actually didn't think about the fact that I already had a place where helium was going. And then this also goes to helium. So that's a lot of incoming helium. That should mean that we have the facility operational now. Although it's not yet done, so let's make sure we do that as well. Yeah, it kind of feels like you have little balls there. I do hope my voice is gonna keep up, because I have a bit of a cold. Nothing too interesting, but my voice is really suffering from it apparently. And back to the main base we go. Now, speaking of the exploration, I put up all those towers that you see here in the back in an attempt to make sure that the next time I go out exploring, I don't need to clear all the hundreds of creatures I killed along the way again, because they do respawn after a little while. Ouch. Let me eat a little bit, because I'm gonna forget about that. There we go. Yeah, so that just helps to make sure that you have as little enemies as possible. I'm actually getting a bit better at efficient exploration in this game at this point. A bit more efficient at fighting as well. So maybe if we need to do some more exploring tonight, I can show you that, because there's a couple of very simple tricks that you can actually use from pretty much the beginning of the game that make fighting a lot easier than it would otherwise be. Fighting is not super hard in the beginning anyway, but it's, you know, always useful to have some tricks up your sleeve. Okay. Okay, now why is my drone not working? Uh-oh. Guys? Are we in combat? The music seems to suggest we are. I just don't know with what. So this is slightly annoying. I can't use my drone if I'm in combat. And the music goes back to normal again. Okay, that's new. Not really sure what was up with that. Anyway. So you do have a double jump, you do have slides, you do actually have a dash. Which I don't think the game tells you about. But you can like double jump, dash and things like that. But the jetpack is replaced, you can see my character over there, with a drone. So you can kind of fly around and build like that. Oh, I just turned up my music too loud. Hold on, hold on. So there is a creature in here somewhere. I can hear it. Ah, hello. I haven't had any creatures attacking me here since forever. So I'm not sure why that is happening now. Also, they seem to have all blown up. Anyway, that's super strange, to be honest. As I was explaining, you have a drone that you can use to fly around, so you do kind of have a jetpack system. It's just a slight variation on the theme. However, what I was trying to do was actually set my recipe, because otherwise this machine is never going to work. And there you go. I set the recipe, and you can now see the resources coming in. We should have a little bit of everything. I don't see the ceramics coming in yet. They need to go a little bit further, I think. Yeah, there we go. So it is now starting to produce stuff. And this one was already doing that. Which means that if we set up this line over here, we connect all of this up, then we can get our production going. And as always with factory games, it's always best to make sure you start producing a little bit early on and then just scale that up if you want to be efficient about things. Now this is gonna go, hold on, I'm actually gonna take one more of these. And do that like that. So the resources we are now producing, we need to deliver those to the corporations in order to get the new unlocks. And we are about to do that with these machines over here. That should now all be connected up. Now one thing I would really prefer to be able to do is set this remotely. Because now I actually have to go machine by machine to select this. So it's only this one. So this is going to be the synthetic silicon that we are almost. We are exporting over here. We can set this one as well. We can set this one. Do I need all of these machines to export this? Maybe not. But the exporting of this stuff goes pretty slow, actually. There we go. And we only need to cover, what is it, 116,000 reputation, and each thing is going to give us what? 45, so that's going to take a minute or two. To say the least, but we should be seeing some of the materials that we're producing. Yeah, you can see them coming in on the belt now, so this is going to start working, and now it's literally just a matter of time before this is completed. And we will complete our reputation thing, but in the meanwhile we do need to make sure to finish this production line. Mostly because that will allow us to keep up the speed, because if I need 2 machines to make all of this stuff, then yeah, we're gonna be here for a while. And I think actually we need these materials as well for some of the other items we are going to be producing. Now I've completely stopped trying to build things to ratio in this game, for the main reason that the amount of items that you need for everything keeps changing. Not the recipes themselves, but some items you basically don't need for a very long time, so you might as well just reutilize your production for something else. And you know, because we have these smart belts or these smart rails that allow us to very easily reallocate items from one building to another, you are basically just reusing your production over and over again. Which I actually think is a very neat thing, although it does mean you are not building as large a factory as you would otherwise, so depends a little bit on what you want out of your factory game, I guess. Okay, so that is a lot of silicon production. All of those materials should be coming in now. Attack drones would be kind of cool, yeah. For a very simple reason. So, maybe to elaborate on that a little bit, this game is really designed around... well, no, it's not entirely designed around being multiplayer, but it is definitely a multiplayer game. Very suitable for playing multiplayer. But if you're playing it solo, like I am, then fighting all of these enemies off can be quite overwhelming. I don't know exactly how many silicon I need, actually, but I do need a little bit in order to progress. So this is why I'm taking it out of the orbital launchers again, because I also want to set up some production lines for my electronics, I think it was. Let's see how much we need. But yeah, there's attacks coming from sometimes from like every single direction at the same time, and that can get really overwhelming, especially for people that aren't really used to playing first-person shooters. I've played quite a few of them. I'm not good at them. I've managed fine in this game so far, but I'm also not the worst FPS player in the world, I guess, so I can really imagine that some people would just want this game to be a little bit easier. Okay, so for electronics we need 600 of this stuff, so I now put in 200, so we're gonna need quite a bit more. However, we also need stators. I'm actually gonna do something slightly different for them to make this a little easier. We'll need to double check if I'm actually producing stators because... Oh, look, there's another bug. Let's see, can I place down another one of these things over here? Hopefully that will just prevent them from spawning in the future. We should have... I don't see any other bugs running around here, so I think that should be all of them. But yeah. Okay. So, as I was saying, I want to do something slightly different over here. I actually didn't put in any storage yet, which is going to be quite useful to do. So, let's make sure we do that. That is going to make stocking up on this stuff a lot easier. And then we can take this one out. And everything should be working nicely again. Now, this looks like blah. I'll keep the words nice. I'll fix that in a second, but let's make sure this is actually working. So silicon here, silicon here, silicon here, silicon here. Now this belt is apparently not fixing itself. So this is, you can still get your belts messed up, as you can see, but it shouldn't take too long to take up the items that are blocking it. And the nice thing is the beeping items are the ones that are blocked at this moment, so once things stop bleeping, you know it's fixed again. There we go, almost done. Still a couple of bleepers. I think those were coming all the way from the back. I think this is the longest time so far I've ever spent on trying to fix a belt. We still have stuff stuck on this belt, jeez. That should be about it, right? Okay, so now I still have materials being exported, and I also have a little bit of a stack starting to be created over here. Which actually means I should probably be able to pick up quite a bit. No, maybe not. Could be wrong about that. We're really low on ceramics, actually. Why is ceramics our bottleneck? Might actually have to do with the helium. But we're still producing, so it's fine. So, let's see if we turn this in. We should be able to start working on electronics as well. Or was there something else that was next? I don't remember. Don't think so. Hello, stop bugging out on me, please. Okay, that's done. Oh, right, we needed the stators. Now we only need 100 of those. But like I said, that is a item that I've been producing since forever. However, initially I produced it somewhere completely different and I deleted that base. So yeah, let me check if I'm actually making it in here somewhere. This is the applicator. Heat resistance shielding. Blah. This is the inductor. Are we not making it? Here, there we go. Stators. Okay. Okay. So, I should probably try to go around here. Hello, autosave. Yeah, there we go. And then we are starting to make some real progress again. Which is a very nice feeling after having explored a huge part of the map earlier. We're actually going to unlock a couple of new production buildings soon, I think, as well. I thought these were the only production buildings in the game, but that is not the case. In order to unlock chemicals, we need synthetic silicon, wolfram powder, and heating. Okay. Is there a reason we should prioritize one over the other? I don't know. Let's see, this one needs electronics and synthetic, so we're already working on that. This needs chemicals and this needs chemicals. So it feels like we might need chemicals more than we need electronics. I mean, you can see we're already halfway through this. It's going fairly quickly. So let's focus maybe on chemicals first. So what do we need for that again? We need some more silicon, so I actually should maybe have done that first. 1,000 wolfram powder, okay, and even more helium, okay. Okay. I do think we have the wolfram powder in here somewhere. Although, hello, can I move up the stairs, please? Thank you. So it's not this one, it's not that one. This one is tubes. Might be the one all the way in the back, actually. This is wolfram wire. Oh, I'm actually not importing wolfram powder? Okay. Then I guess we know what we're doing. We're gonna set up another one of these cargo receivers. There we go. We probably need to start adding in some power at some point as well. So this is going to be wolfram powder. Do I still have enough to build a cargo dispatcher? Yes, I do. Okay. Hey, Rolno. How is your Friday going? I need a Jeep. You know, something to kind of cruise around this whole area.
Looks good. Good stuff.
Let's grab some food while we're at it. I know where my wolfram powder is. It's not that far away, but I must have run this part of the map up and down like I don't know, a few hundred times now. That's what it feels like anyway. Might not be quite that dramatic, but so here we go. Hold on, am I actually exporting this already? To where?
Necesito agua.
I'm confused now. Where is this going? Is it going to that facility? Well, it doesn't really matter, I suppose, but apparently I'm already bringing it in here somewhere. Now this base is about to go... Yeah, we are over the threshold now. Okay, that is actually a problem. Hold on. Because that means the base is now vulnerable. We need a base core amplifier, which we can do because that will increase our base core capacity by 20. I also need more building materials if I want to do that. So, well, let me hop to my main base real quick. Oh, it's no problem. So we do actually get a teleporter, because honestly, I wish I had a teleporter. For hours now. So it's good to know that it's actually already in... Oh man, I need inductors, glass, and titanium housing for that. Okay. Okay. Guess we're doing some more running then. Let's do it like this. Let's try to be efficient. Let's set this up. Even though I know it is going to overheat. I was about to say, why is it not moving? But that's not moving because it's not needed to move. Okay. We are going to do wolfram powder to... Where's the other wolfram powder? Yeah, I actually didn't say. Okay, it doesn't matter. This is going to be more wolfram powder being exported, so that's good. That is going to work. Then we... Okay, we need inductors, which we are not making here. So we have everything we need at the other base, I suppose. So that means I just have to run up and down again. It's the reward from clearing the whole machine in the mountains. That one? I didn't actually know you could go in there. I did explore quite a bit in that direction already. I guess it's then... I guess that's like the one part of the map that I... Well, there's more parts of the map that I haven't explored in detail, but especially the top right part, I haven't really explored in detail just yet. I have a feeling, though, that by the time I get the teleporter, that I'm also kind of done with the game, maybe? I mean, with the current state of the game, anyway. Okay, I need a couple of things. So first of all, I set up this facility to get me some more building materials, so let's grab some of those.
Let's see.
Not that one. Also not that one. That's a bit of a glass. Oh, no, no. Oh, God. Okay, hold on. What else? Let's see. I needed titanium housing and inductors. This is the housing. Where am I making the inductors? Here? Yes. Okay. Did I actually grab any titanium housing? I think he just dropped it on the ground because my inventory was full. Which, you know, is a bit inconvenient, but okay. Let's just drop some of the building materials then. I do not want to drop my ammo because I will forget to make more. And I can very easily get some of the other stuff. So, titanium housing was somewhere over here. That should make me at least a little bit of tier 2 building materials. Yeah, I've tried to make myself a bit organized. I think this looks pretty decent, and all the other facilities look similar to that.
Necesito agua.
Yeah. Eat some mushrooms. There you go. Should probably just change characters. Just because I can. So let's play with, I don't know, the scientist. So we do actually switch. Does that do anything else for me? I don't think so. Do I have? No, actually, I don't have a basic construction machine or whatever it's called. A basic item printer. There we go. Print me some basic items. Specifically, I want you to print me some tier 2 materials. There we go. Okay. That's nice. And then we can start to run back again, because we need to make sure we don't lose that entire base on the next rupture. Actually, I don't think you actually lose your base if you don't have enough protection for it. It will just make sure the machines overheat more. And it takes them a lot longer to cool down. At least that is what I gathered from the menu. I'm not sure I want to test it out, because I don't want to have to build my factory again. So let's see. Yeah. Over here should do just fine. So, base core amplifier, right? I mean, 20 is not much. That is for sure. So this puts it in the green again. Do these things actually take power? Apparently not. Okay. Oh, that was easy. It did take quite a bit of building materials, but, you know, those are infinite, so that is fine. Then let's go and unlock our chemicals so we can start working on that. And in the meanwhile, let's check in on how we're doing on the unlock of the Selenia Corporation. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of experimenting going on with this game world now, I agree, so honestly, it's the fun part about factory games anyway. You already know exactly how you're going to build from the first day you start playing the game, and either you watched a lot of YouTube content already, which is not necessarily a bad thing, or you're a lot smarter than I am. I mean, I rebuilt my entire base 3 times so far. Okay, so this is almost done. This is, well, not going that fast, but once we get the chemicals up and running, that will be fine. So that's good. Let's go all the way to the bottom. Did we already unlock it? Oh, I keep looking at the wrong thing. I'm pretty sure the order used to be different. Oh, we already unlocked the thing with the stators. I'm talking and doing things at the same time. Probably not the most efficient thing. Right, we need the wolfram powder, we need more helium, and we need synthetic silicon. And or we... Oh, this is why we needed stators. We could also just build the electronics, but let's start with the chemicals first. So the wolfram powder should now be incoming. We need helium, and we need some of that synthetic silicon. So, oh, hello. Let's grab a little bit of all. As planned,
yes.
we have a nice stack over here. This completely came to a standstill. What happened to my ceramics production, people? That's weird. Is that ceramics incoming there? Oh, those are tubes. So we are still receiving ceramics. We might just be using it in too many different places. Because you can see it going into these factories as well. So we are still producing it, it's just going slow. That might be because I just got a lot of these inductors out of the system. And then the downside is, of course, if you're using... I haven't really scaled up my main production. So yeah, things are just being used in multiple different places because we're doing too many things at the same time, I suppose. Okay, well, honestly, that's not really a problem. You can always just build a electronics facility, build a chemical facility as well.
Rupture activity detected.
Oh, there we go, and we need to find a safe place anyway. So we need some more helium. I'm still gonna grab some of that stuff. Hello.
Gotcha.
Oh, I was surprised with that by that voice because I've been used to the female engineer. It was confusing me for a second there. Just another round of material gathering for the next unlock. So, to speed things up. Okay, so yeah, I definitely want the chemicals up and running first because we need that for several things, and then we'll do the electronics as well, and we'll see what we do after that, depending on how fast things go. So I need the silicon for that. I need some powder for that, the wolfram powder. And the helium. So one of these materials is actually going to be... So the nice thing about... Actually, that holds for both of these things. The nice thing about building that production line next to the one we already have is that we can utilize the output into the new input as well. Just saves a lot of belts. But considering both of these are going to be using that, we can only do it for one anyway. Look at that storm coming in. Oh, we unlocked this thing. Now we have the Mega Press, which apparently produces a whole bunch of new things. That's going to be interesting. And we need an impeller? What's an impeller? I'm learning new words apparently today. Impeller. If I'm not mistaken, the specifications for my laptop are in the About section on YouTube. You can check it out. I honestly don't know from the top of my head what system I'm running. but I get this question more often. I think I put it in the description there. Let me know if it's not there, because then I might want to put that up, because I do get that question every now and then. Yeah, we pretty much just need to build chemicals, because we actually don't need the electronics for anything at the moment. So it doesn't really make sense to focus on that. We can make the intermediate building materials. We can automate that over here. Honestly, that doesn't seem like a...
within acceptable parameters.
We can already make the nozzles. I mean, we need to unlock it, of course. We need, again, 2,000 helium. What's up with the amounts, guys? Come on. But we have the stabilizers in production already and the heat-resistant sheets as well. We're gonna need to unlock sulfuric acid at some point. Oh, look. We already have the blueprint for the valve, so that's nice. It's a whole bunch of new stuff that we need to unlock. Okay. So, where do I actually get... Okay, so I need the Selenium Corporation next level to get the sulfur extractor. In order to do that, I need the impeller. In order to unlock the impeller... Maybe I can already build that? So let's put that in the favorites. It looks like a big gun, but it's not that, unfortunately. Oh, we can already make the impeller. From titanium rods, heat-resistant shields, full from plates and stabilizers. Okay. So that's the next thing we're making then. Let me just double check one thing. What does this give us? So the chemical, we don't actually need the chemicals, to be honest, because I don't care about this. I mean, this is already progressing, even though it's very slow. I don't care about this. So, I mean, eventually I will care about this, because we do want the compounder, probably. But for the moment, I think the main priority is going to be the impeller, so we can get the sulfur extractor up and running as well. Okay. So, that means I'm gonna have to check this once again. This needs titanium rods. Let's write that down. Titanium rods. We need heat-resistant shielding. We need the wolfram plates. And we need the stabilizer. Oh man, that's gonna be spaghetti. Speaking of spaghetti, I might actually want to set up the chemical production as well. Mostly because that is going to reduce the spaghetti by a whole lot, because if I build it next to here, yeah. Let's just do that. We're gonna have to do it eventually anyway, so... Less talking, more building, TDA. Hold on, that's not where that should go. That was in the furnace, right? Yeah. Chemicals, chemicals, I'm in the way myself. There we go. And more reels, please. Let's see. We are going to bring in the powder as well as the helium. This is where the powder is. The helium was coming from where? So this is the powder. This is the helium, which is also here. So hold on. I think that means this one needs to be a bit lower. So I can connect that up, And I can connect that up again. Yep, that should work again. And then the helium. We can do that something like that. Maybe like this. So that means this can go in here and then go in here. This can kind of flow underneath and then go in that direction. And that should be it. All of that should ensure that once we unlock it, we can make chemicals there. Okay. In order to do that, I am going to need more stuff. Do I have inventory space? Yes, I do. I am going to need some more of this. We already had almost enough, I think. Something like that. We needed more helium. More helium. I am wondering why my ceramic production is so low. Might actually be a helium issue. Okay, that's a lot of helium that I just stole from there. Silicon and the powder. So the powder that we have over here. Let's see how much we need. The impeller is the eternal part of a pump that moves the liquids. Well, I was today years old when I learned that. I am I'm just an actuary, guys. I am not a technical person. I had never heard of that word at all. I actually think, now I mention it, I think actually my heating had an impeller issue then, literally like a week ago. It was very, very cold in the Netherlands. My heating was actually still working, but it wasn't properly working, and that had to do with the fact that the liquids weren't divided properly within the system. That sounds then like a thing an impeller might have been doing, or not doing in this case. Oh. Okay, so let's see. Actually, I don't need that one. I need the helium. There we go. More helium for me. More helium. More helium. The thing is, when you're actually using these resources and you're also... Still getting used to that voice. And you're also using them to unlock stuff. Yeah. Things slow down a little bit. Let's put it like that. I can always run over to the other factory. Actually, we have more helium in production there. Okay. I needed 6 more. Really? Okay. I don't happen to have like helium in... No, I don't. I cleared all of the random stuff out. Okay. Well... a little bit more powder and a little bit more helium then. That should do it. I really want a button to hide the recipes I've already unlocked. Anyway, that should do it. Let's put in the other silicon because we need it at some point in there anyway. And then... we can start setting the recipes and connecting this up. Chemicals is what we were making. Let's make sure we put in some storage from the get-go this time around.
The Raptura is in its stable stage. The climate of Arcadia is returning to normal.
I am so happy for the Raptura. Okay, there we go. Let's set up the rails. Yep, that was the autosave. There we go. Okay. You can actually upgrade your core as well, but as I understand that will mean that the enemy starts to attack you more actively. And if we can just kind of cheat the system by setting up the amplifiers, then that seems like a much easier way of doing that. Not sure how feasible is that is in the long run, but I guess we'll find out. Chemicals, and more chemicals. Okay, you are already set to produce chemicals. That is awesome. So that means we're almost done setting this up. Let's fly down a little bit further. This one was already done. That's great. There we go. And if you're new here in the chat, don't be afraid to say hi. Feel free to ask questions, do backseat gaming, give me tips and tricks. As long as you keep things nice and polite, both to me and to each other, and feel free to talk about whatever you want to talk about. We're just here to kind of chill and have some fun. Okay, there we go. And you can already see we are no longer producing silicon anymore. Well, we are producing silicon now, but we weren't producing it anymore because we supplied everything we needed to supply. So now we're reutilizing that same production line to make the next thing. Nice and efficient. So that actually means, since we have this set up now, we also need to do this slightly different actually. Hold on. Well, actually it doesn't matter that much. But yeah, this is not going to work. That actually is not going to work either. We need to do it like this. Because if I do it like this, I will be able to connect something else to this line as well. There we go. That is now all connected up. I hate how these flying platforms look. Let me fix that. Building is underwater? You're a pillar. How are you underwater? I mean... Okay. I guess we're not fixing it then. Because I can't build in the water for some reason. Okay. Another thing that I'll forgive the game for being early access, but is something I would hope they fix pretty soon. We are still progressing here. We're almost done there anyway. So let's make sure we set this one up for this one, and this one up for that one as well. We should see... Yeah, okay. There are actually chemicals coming in, so that's good. Any spare materials are being returned, so that's nice. I'll actually just set this to the last two here. To use some of this stuff for the Moon Corporation, so we can get that done as well. Should speed up things quite a bit. Just a mix of the two, I guess. Okay, so just double checking. This one is doing that one. And then we need the impellers. Okay. We can do that. We might need to make a lot more tier 2 building materials, but we can make a little hub here in the water, I suppose. Let's see. So for that we needed the heat shielding, we needed the wolfram plates, the titanium rods, and stabilizer. Did we need 4 things for that? Hold on. Oh man. Speaking about spaghetti, if that is the case. The mega press, right? Yeah, the mega press. Okay. 4 things. Let me see. How do we get 4 things in here? Is that just all 4 at the same side? Yep. Okay. Well, that's gonna be fun. Oh look, the terrain is actually going up here again. And do we build it somewhere else? Or do we just go up again with the factory? The fact that you can't really build vertically too much is sort of annoying. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna build it at this height. Which apparently is this height. So now we're gonna have to build the factory up again. Not really a problem, but it's not gonna win any prettiness bonus. So let's build this one up a little bit. Hold on. We do need to fix the height. So that is a little annoying because I can't fix the height if I also build it up, I think. Maybe I can? Nope. Oh, we can't actually go that high because the ground is too steep. I also didn't check how wide is this building. This is 4 wide. I think the other one is 3 wide. So that is a thing. And what's the production speed on this? Pretty slow. So yeah, we are going to need quite a few of these things. Well, in that case, I am going to do it slightly different. We're just gonna relocate this part of the facility a little bit. We could maybe angle it. Does that make sense? Rather than build it over here, we angle it. I mean, one way or another, we are going to run out of space here. I mean, there's plenty more space to work with. I would just prefer to keep everything somewhat close. Let me think about this for a second. I could set up the facility kind of like over there. That could be fun, right? Maybe? Hmm. The main problem I'm foreseeing is that if we have several lines, you can't really build too many lines on top of each other. That just becomes really ugly really fast. But I want to keep things neat. If I want to build stuff here, let me actually check that. Can I build on top of the water? I can build on top of the water just fine, at least here. It just can't go up too high. Is this a nice height? Maybe. So this seems to be kind of like the edge. So maybe let's do it like this. Is this gonna work? I think so. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we can build 1, 2, 3.
Sent. The Moon Energy Corporation is very pleased with your services. More rewards await you in the terminal.
Yay! Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. If we do it like this, does that work? Then we can kind of bring in the other production lines we have over there through this area we have in terms of open space. I think that should be fine. Okay. It's gonna take a minute to set all of this up, but it's gonna be worth it. That's a lot of building placement this episode. This stream, I should say. We probably want you to be on the other side. Hold on. There we go, and then we oriented this way, because this is also the way we're going, so it's kind of flowing in. There we go, and then we also need to set up some storage once again. So we're making sure we are optimizing our production line as much as possible. This is going to connect into this into this, that into that, this one into this one, and then this one into this one. Okay. It's a bit of a project, this, but once again, it is going to be worth it. Now, again, because I just completed another level of progress, that means that all my production has already come to a standstill. So even though it felt slow when we were building it, there's not really any point in trying to increase the skill of your production because you're going to be waiting for a long time anyway. Okay, let's make sure we set up all of these recipes. So this is going to be an impeller. This is going to receive impellers. This is going to receive impellers. This is going to receive impellers. That is also going to receive impellers. That one was already set. Then this one is going to be set. So that means that as soon as we start bringing in those resources, we should start seeing this kicking to gear. I am gonna have to set all of that up though. I am running really low on building materials. Luckily I have more. That's the autosave. If you're wondering why the game is lagging every now and then, the autosave is now at this point the save file is becoming bigger, I suppose, so it's slowing down a little bit. Okay, that looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Looks like spaghetti from this side. Looks really cool from this side. Anyway, onwards. That was the wrong connection. This factory is also getting very close to the maximum size. I might need to actually upgrade some of my my domes at some point. The main issue with that is that I then don't know where I'm gonna be attacked. Okay. So I was working from the start. Let's make sure that the order in which we connect things up is the same every time to make things look very organized and neat. And there we go. That looks okay. Okay. So, let me actually check one thing before we continue the build. Because we unlocked a level now, and sometimes the next level uses the same resources, so, you know. We can claim the greater infiltrator thing. Which apparently is something we can use to explore more efficiently. That is something I like. So let's plug this in over here.
Great.
Now I have uncovering the fog of war increased by 25% and 45%. Not sure if it stacks, but I'm assuming at the very least it will take the larger of the two. Makes exploring easier. Hold on. What I also wanted to check, of course, is not just what I got, but what thing I need now. A valve. Impeller, valve, battery, nozzle. Okay. So this one is still progressing, and then next up on the list is the impeller itself. Okay. Where are the items that we need? Hold on. I need to go up here, otherwise I can see what I'm doing. Not that one. We actually don't need helium for a change. We do need Wolfram plates, I think. Yeah. So. I actually didn't leave myself any room here, did I? Nope. Okay. Let's remedy that. I'm gonna shut down my entire factory for a second. Then I'm gonna do this. Okay, hold on. Power. Where are you? There. Okay, there we go. That should make that easier. Now, Wolfram plates. We are gonna bring in some real connectors. Let's put it like this, and let's put this all the way to the ground. It's actually gonna be interesting how I can connect this up. Does this work? Is this level? Should be mostly level, right? Actually, that goes up. So if we just put it on the normal height, it should be completely level. That is nice. Okay. It almost looks like it's intentional. There we go. Okay, so you need to go in there. That's the Wolfram plates. Yes, just double checking. Let's make sure we set the first line up as neatly as possible. That's the better position, I think. And then this one can connect up to that one. And then we can go here. And we can go... Let me connect this up. It's turning into a bit of a puzzle, this. Okay, if we do it like that... And definitely not like that. So if you take the outer one, you should get a nice clean curve. Yep. We can connect this one up. So that is all good. And then... I guess the question then becomes, where do I connect things up? Because I have Wolfram plates coming in. I also have stabilizers and heat shields coming in. So I think there's only 2 resources coming in from this direction. I think I'll leave the other ones around. So in that case, what I can do... I need to see how we space this out. Okay, so that... This is the line we want to be in, and then we need to level it with that. And then, if I'm not mistaken, if we connect this one up to that, and then this one goes down here, this will all light up, so this is now powered. That's awesome. And yeah, I think that looks almost like I wanted to. I am actually going to... I'll leave it for a moment. I might need to rearrange this a little bit. I am going to place another one over here. It might actually just make more sense to do it like this. That would have been even cleaner, so that was kind of what I was going for. Okay, like that. So then this... Hello? Yeah, that can connect into that one. We have this connecting into there. So this is one higher. So if I then make this one over here... Oh, I'm out of resources. Hold on. I took that into consideration. We have the resources right here.
I can use this.
Okay. We can drop those, we can drop those, we can drop those. Just to clean up our inventory a little bit.
I need water.
Also, you need water, apparently. Okay, there you go. So we have the plates already coming in. And if I did my math correctly... Well, actually, if I did my layout correctly, I should say. If I connect this up, we should have a pretty clean incoming line as well. In a second. Okay, hold on. Because I do want to make this just normal splitters. Because those I can change in height. This is one higher, so that should connect up to this one. Which apparently is not one higher, so I messed that one up. Oh, I did raise it one, I just didn't level the platform. That's where that went wrong. Okay, hold on. So now it's level, now it's one higher. Other way around, CDA, otherwise the thing won't actually work. And there we go. It is nice and clean on top of that one. Now we are going to bring in, I think, something all the way from the back. Namely, my titanium rods. I actually think they're in the back, but let's double check while I'm passing through anyway. Those were the pipes. That is not actually an importing machine. Yeah, this is the one. I'm just gonna remove the entire thing, I think. Let me think about this for a moment. I might just want to completely take out these windmills. Just to keep the build as clean as possible. I do need more power now. Yeah, I can just fit in a second line of windmills here, that's not a problem. So, we just doubled up on the power, I think, but, okay. Which one was it? This one? No. That one? Yeah. So then, I like working with these splitters because they are just more flexible in the long run. In case you're wondering why I keep cancelling the normal production lines. So I actually do need to bring this down and one level back up. Because that should allow me to go through all... Ooh, no, actually that doesn't work. Because if I need any of these other materials, that line actually needs to come down. So this back line should be a high one actually, not a low one. So we are actually going to take that one. Maybe like raise it 2 levels. And then raise that one 2 levels as well. And then this one can connect to that one. Almost there. Add one to that one. Add one to that one. Add one to that one. And then I'm just missing the connection all the way in the back here. And if I did everything correct... What's going on with that thing anyway? Yeah, look at that. We have the materials coming in, and that means we connected it correctly. We're also overheating this particular area now, which I guess is the area under this tower. Yes. So we need a base core amplifier, and we're just gonna be building a whole bunch of those, I guess. Well, I'm out of resources again. Okay. So we need more. I keep forgetting what we need for that. We need inductors, glass, and something. Inductors, glass. Oh, in the titanium housing. Okay. One of those things is in here somewhere. I wish it was a little easier to tell which one it is from the outside.
I think I can use
this. The inductors were here somewhere as well.
Good job. Future Health Solutions has unlocked new rewards for you.
This is easier. There we go. Okay, so that is some inductors. Putting a lot of stuff on the ground now. So let me just drop some of the stuff I don't actually need. We have some inductors, we have some glass. Let's get some more inductors. Let's just drop a few of these guns. Then we have 3 stacks of everything except for the housing. That's 1 stack. Trying to get through here, people. That's another stack. And that is an attempt to a 3rd stack, which apparently didn't land. Why not? I don't know. We can drop the stators. There we go. Okay. So you can definitely notice that I am using quite a bit more of those advanced materials now that, you know, replacing now machines that cost 140 of them. Makes sense. Hey, Nesatalis. Nesatalis? I love all your names on YouTube. If you're playing on Discord, usually people have names you can pronounce, but a lot of the names on YouTube turn out to be something that I don't know how to pronounce. Okay, that is a few thousand more of those building materials, so that's great. Let me make sure I grab some more of the base ones as well. There we go. Let's sort that out. And then let's continue building my defensive line, because, you know, otherwise my machines are going to be blowing up. Something like that, for now. I do need to double check if my capacity is correct in all of my machines, actually. So this one works. Just want to make I just double check here if I am not causing any problems elsewhere. I think we should be fine. Let's just make sure we check in the back as well. You made this name to confuse people. Well, mission accomplished, I would say. Yeah, the wave doesn't destroy infections on your base. It definitely doesn't. I have proof right here, by the way. Hold on. Go to the map. When I was exploring, I think it was the last stream or maybe the one before that, I lost a couple of bases up here because I was just placing them down as I went, and they got captured, and I never bothered to, you know, get them back. And that was a lot of waves ago. And they don't clear out, so yeah, you do actually need to actively take them back. Okay. So... we have 2 out of 3 things here now. Yep, you can see that. So we need the heat resistance shields and the stabilizers. We have those here somewhere. I think at this point I can probably take out these machines and kind of use this. Yeah. We can make the export line over there. And then just make this kind of like a, I guess like a bus. Just a minute while I delete a lot of the stuff we built a couple of episodes ago. Yeah, that's a good question. I have been meaning to set up a Discord. I have to say I have only been actively using Discord myself for a couple of months now. So the first few times people asked was like, I don't know how to set up a Discord. Turns out it's not that difficult. I don't know how to... well, now you know how to use Discord, so at least the threshold is a little lower. I have no idea how to run Discord. So I'm a little bit afraid of setting up a Discord and then just that becoming one big mess of bots or something like that. I mean, worst case scenario, I can always just delete Discord again, I suppose. But yeah, that's honestly the only reason that's been holding me back. We need these stabilizers, and where's the shields? I know I'm making them, I just don't know where they are. It's here, okay. So. Yeah, let's make someone moderator. I've had a couple of volunteers somewhere along the way as well. I'm not sure if those people still want to volunteer. But, if I go up 3 levels, is that too much? Maybe not. But if I go up 1, 2, 3 levels, then we go here, we go up 1, 2, 3 levels once more. I can kind of do that. And then this. Not sure what you're connected to, but that's not the thing I wanted you to connect to. There we go. The rates and recipes are confusing to me, so I'm making a list of everything converted to per minute quantities. Well, actually, I did that as well, John in Phoenix. I have my own spreadsheet. In this particular game, you don't really need to do that. You can still do that. I definitely did that for like the first 15 hours. But because you are kind of reusing your production lines over and over again, there's a little lack of return on your investment there, to some extent. So this is actually kind of annoying that this doesn't work quite as well as I wanted it to, because I have several lines that are going to be running on top of each other. Okay, hold on. This only works if you kind of hop these things over each other. Hmm. How am I going to do this now? This is not going to be the most elegant solution, but it will work. And just do it like that. And then just like make it a bus. I mean, I don't love it, but it will work.
I'm detecting increased Ruptura activity.
Oh, of course.
Prepare for a wave.
Okay, so I can't build with the drone when there is a wave incoming. It's just the bane of my existence, to be honest. Because I know there's a wave incoming, and I know we need to get to safety and stuff, but you don't need to panic when that happens. So, you know, we can still spend like a minute or so building. I mean, worst case we die and we spawn back pretty much next to where we were building anyway. Well, the thing with the double and triple line posts is that A, they're a little bit buggy at the moment from what I've understood from other people. But these things are kind of useless. So the problem with these is that the game doesn't really recognize that there's multiple paths to a destination, so it will always take the shortest path. So you don't really get the additional throughput unless you work very hard to make that happen. But there's not a good way to split things off from a multi-rail or recombine it, so I end up doing everything with these things, because these are 100% reliable and you can actually make sure things go where you need them to go.
Eruption has started. Prepare for impact.
I keep finding this animation kind of cool. Whoosh.
Extreme temperature detected.
I mean, I would understand it if they don't want you to miss the warning, so they kind of interrupt what you're doing to make sure you notice. But yeah, the fact that you can't actually use your drone anymore, it's kind of annoying. These are kind of useless. I also wonder where those just went, because they didn't fit in my inventory. We're going to need hardening agents. I think we have the recipe for that unlocked already. Yeah, as you can see, we're currently not producing anything anymore because none of this is actually being consumed. We can also not make any of this, so we're working on the impeller to make sure we start progressing again. I could just buy this level. Or the new solar generator. I mean, that's 1,000 energy.
Planetary temperature.
It's a lot easier just to build the windmills, though. The start actually does change, I think. It seems to become brighter over time as the StarRupture comes closer. At least I think that's... I felt like that is what it was doing anyway. We can check in a second once we can actually see stuff again. Okay. Let's see. Oh, so then you're pretty much where we are then, John and Phoenix. we literally built the silicon production in this stream. Ooh, let's see. I need 2 things. Okay, hold on. Hold on. There we go. You might be right. I'm not 100% sure it was actually changing colors. So you might very well be right indeed. Hello, autosave. There we go. Okay. Something like... Oh, no. Whenever you try to go a little bit too fast, the game is like, nope, 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 nope. You go there. We need one more of those things in here. Or was that the one that didn't want to be built? No, yeah, okay. Fine. Fine, we'll do it like this. I give in to you, game. I give in to you. That's 1. That's 2. I want to see resources coming in. And that's 1 resource, and that is where the second one is coming in. Look at that. This is all working once more. Okay, that's awesome. That means we now officially have impellers in production. Yes, impellers, that's what they were called. That also means that I need to start exporting said impellers. And I am going to do that with the orbital cargo launchers, obviously. Which apparently I suck at placing down, so let's make sure we do that properly. Okay, so I need to change this priority. This one is going to go too low. And then if we set this to connect up to that and connect up to that, then that should mean if we set this to use impellers, this should get a priority to use that stuff over stocking it up in their inventory. So let's see. Yeah, there's still a little bit of that going to the storage, which is fine, but the majority is going in here. Okay. So basically we're exporting it first, and once we're done exporting, we'll start stocking it up again. Let's set up a few more of those just to speed things up. So I have a feeling it might take a while to upload these things. It's fairly fast, but... this one should be going into that. And I'll probably also just use this production line. Oh no, I don't know. I was about to say also use this line for the other stuff later on, but I probably won't do that. This level shouldn't take too long, to be honest. While we have the production set up. Which raises the question, what was next? Yeah, I can fit through here. Why not make it centered as 3 to 3? You mean the orbitals? I mean these things you can swap the foundations. So I guess we could have done that. These things don't. Oh, these things also swap foundations. Oh, I actually didn't know you could do this. I will note that the right click to switch foundations is not on the bottom right in the overview. Yeah, no, I actually agree with you, Nestalis. The if I would have, I have actually been annoyed by the fact that these buildings don't align. But then here's the thing: if you have these, there is an actual indicator on the bottom right that says swap foundation. So it's easy to miss, but at least there's an indication that this works. I hadn't actually tried that because it didn't show up as an option. Anyway, these buildings are temporary, but moving forward, I'll keep that in mind. Now I actually wonder, can you do that with smelters, for example? Okay, I hate everything about this now. All those buildings have those options. Just double checking, the smelter also does not say you can do this, right? No, it doesn't do. Yeah, would have been nice if they told you that. Okay, so there's two things we need to take into consideration. What do we actually need to unlock? I mean, a compounder would be nice to unlock. We definitely want to unlock these things, but we are going to be unlocking those in a minute. The solar generator I don't particularly care about. I mean, all of this stuff is nice, but none of this stuff is necessary. We can already make valves, I think. We definitely want nozzles, because apparently we can use those for two different things. But let me double check the recipes. So, in the furnace. Hardening agents we can make. But we can only make those if we have sulfuric acid, which we don't. Super magnets we can also make, apparently, but again, we need that. Nozzles. Well, I was just saying we want to produce nozzles, and we can produce nozzles because we have all of these things. So that is interesting. Okay. So I need 200 hardened shields. I also need 2000 helium. And I need 100 stabilizers. I mean, because we need so many of those nozzles, we might as well start producing them, right? I should probably steal them from over here. Yoink!
Ah, gotcha.
That voice. I have all the stabilizers already. Actually, I only need 100. Actually, hold on. Let me put those back in. Where'd you go? There you go. Okay. Okay. We needed 200 of those things, so let's grab a few more. And then we needed a whole bunch of helium, so let me just make sure I have the room in my inventory to do that. I'm being captured by my own belts here. Yeah, I mean, I will go easy on the game, of course, because it is still early access, but there's a couple of things in here that I'm like, why is this missing? Especially if it is in some places, but it's not in other places. That's just... it's just a little weird. I should probably use my analyzer to clear up this. I'm kind of proud of my Goliath bio artifact, but yeah.
Ruptura status.
Taking
stable.
up inventory space.
Arcadia status. Stable.
Let me dump my war bonds. Actually, let's use my war bonds. I have a shotgun now. Which one is the shotgun? Is this the shotgun? No. Faster reload, increased damage. A lower damage fallout, wider spread. Um, let's go with that one first. It was this one, right? Yeah. Faster reload sounds super useful. Increased damage also sounds super useful. But I think because it already does quite a bit of damage, we should probably prioritize that. And then I'm out. Okay. Where's my storage? Let's put the remaining in there. We can also get rid of... I can actually just make some more stuff, maybe. No, I can't. Never mind, never mind. Let's clear those up. I will just need to do a few trips for helium. Okay. I'm probably going to set up a tiny bit of storage for my helium. Mostly because I need so much of it to unlock everything. My screens want to turn themselves off. It's almost midnight. My screens are like, yeah, we're going to bed. No, you're not. I need you. Okay, there we go. Storage. Temporary storage, but storage nonetheless. Okay, helium. Yep. Not sure why it's not recognizing helium to be on the line, but you know. And then the helium is also going into these machines over here.
Gotcha.
So let's steal some out of these. So all of that exploring did actually pay off in the end. Being able to actually build quite a bit of expansion to my factory now. All in one go. Without having to go exploring again. Which interestingly is more of a positive than I thought it would. Because honestly, if you do a lot of building, you kind of get tired of it to some extent. If you're doing a lot of exploring, it also gets tiresome, especially if you're doing a lot of fighting. So, you know, change of scenery is kind of nice. Okay. That is not even halfway in. Let's just make sure we do all of this, just because we can. So we need the turbine and we need the electromagnetic coil, apparently. Okay. Batteries is also something we need, but in order to do that, we are going to need those electronics that we skipped, so... we're gonna have to deal with that at some point as well. But we should be able to do that fairly easily. I'm probably never going to automate this. 10 meteorite hearts? You know how many bases I can build for that? Yeah, 10. I mean, it's not that much work to make some of this stuff, but, you know, okay. Anyway. Honestly, automating this is kind of convenient, to some extent. But that's not what we're doing. So, helium. We need more helium. The ammo required for each skill is super annoying, yeah. Point in case. I was actually kind of preparing to maybe go exploring again. This is not even enough ammo to do proper exploring. I mean, it doesn't help if you're a bad shot like I am. Like missing half your shots probably. But, yeah. I do imagine, honestly, that exploring with your buddies you know, just with some friends shooting aliens. Not only goes a lot faster, but it might actually be quite fun. I can see that being fun. Forever Alone, yeah. Yeah, I am almost exclusively playing like single player games. Mostly because that allows me to play whenever I want and then not have to conform to anyone's plans, anyone's schedules. I have kids, so you know. Doesn't help when they come into the room and you need to do something all of a sudden. Let's see. Almost there, just a few hundred more. Hello, autosave. I used to be a pretty intense World of Warcraft player back in the day. Raiding 6 nights per week and stuff. So I have nothing against multiplayer games per se, but it's a lot more convenient to play solo. I don't think this is enough just yet. We need slightly more. Okay, I think that should do it. Now let's hope we don't end up having 6 helium too few again. That was a bit unfortunate. So let's check that sun. I mean, doesn't look very intensive now. I actually don't know how long is the rotation. It's like 20 minutes? 30 minutes? What was I doing here? I haven't actually timed it. There we go. We didn't have that much to spare, to be honest. Nozzles. So, for nozzles, we need heat-resistant shields. Just reminding myself, helium, and stabilizers. Okay. That is the thing we needed, right? Just again, double-checking. Nozzles. So at least 2 of these things need nozzles. So you know that is definitely going to be worth setting up. I'm just thinking about it for a moment where I'm gonna set it up. Am I going to set that up behind this production line? I mean, one way or another, I am going to be running out of space in my main base here. I'm inclined to actually set it up a little bit smaller. I might be just overdoing the production lines here. Just due to the fact of how long things are going to be running. How is this production line doing actually? Let me check that. I mean, this is working pretty efficiently. So in that regard, it's definitely not overproducing. Am I talking myself into, you know, setting this up like that? Huh, I might be. So here's the thing. We're using heat-resistant shields and stabilizers again. So the only new thing actually is helium, so I could just build right next to it. At this rate, I'm connecting my bases. I mean, this doesn't look like the worst idea to me. We'll just need to bring in helium as a new product. And which lines do this is the stabilizer one, so we can actually reutilize that one. So it's actually gonna be pretty clean, I think. Okay, hold on, just a sec, So we can center this if we make it bigger. Oh, but it becomes bigger in every direction? That kind of sucks. I mean, this is just gonna inflate my base. So it's like choosing between two evils. Either you're going to inflate your base quite a bit, or you can have everything nicely centered. I honestly don't know which of those two options I prefer. Yeah, I agree. If they made the ammo stacks slightly larger, it would be... I mean, I don't mind the fact that you have to make a lot of ammunition or that you spend a lot of ammunition, but it's so clunky in your inventory. Is it the second line that has the stabilizers or the heal shields? Yeah, it is. Okay. So that's perfect. We can actually just continue that line on. It's like we planned this all along. Okay, I have to admit, this is going to be super clean. I feel like Bob Ross now. Happy little accidents. And let me just put a little rail over here. Maybe a little friend over here. And remember, we don't make mistakes. There's only little happy little accidents. Okay, that was the worst Bob Ross impersonation ever. What is Okay. These belts are getting a bit funky. Were these belts that funky here as well? I don't think so, right? So why are they that funky here? I mean, there's... No, they were funky a little bit there as well, but... And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you need 3 rails connector thingies that also act as splitters. Oh, that's not where that should go. Yeah, ammo stacks of 500 would be already a massive improvement. Especially for like the later guns. Maybe for the pistol, just keep it at 300 because, you know, that's a lot for a pistol anyway. And gives you another reason to upgrade. Or maybe, you know, just make it an upgrade you can research that just increases your ammo stack size or something. Oh, I'm not sure if that makes sense, but still. Okay, that should work. So now if I set this to the nozzle, we should get heat resistant shields and helium coming in. Sorry, heat resistant shields and stabilizers coming in, I mean. We still need to set up the helium. So let's do that in reverse. Okay, that's that line. So that's the one over here. And this one goes there. Then I need to connect some rails. before I venture out again. You go there. Look at all of that production going. That's a lot of stuff being produced. Yeah, let's just clip it right through the stone, why not? Because apparently we can do that. I don't know why there's one in between. That one should probably go, but we'll leave it in there for a second. Oh, hold on, hold on. That's not where you were supposed to go. Okay, then if we're deleting stuff, let's delete this one as well. Just make it look a little bit cleaner. Hydration low. No, that's not where I wanted you to go. Yeah, the scope for the assault gun is kind of nice. Honestly, I do like the kind of the weapon upgrades. I'm still not 100. It feels like they were trying to make two games. So one of them is more like a survival sci-fi game with the whole Rupture thing going on, and the second game is like a factory game. And both sides feel a little undercooked for the moment. I mean, that's coming from someone that's already been playing this game and having fun for 30 hours, so don't get me wrong, it's a pretty decent game at the moment already. But especially the survival mechanics are... Well, for example, this whole food mechanic. I keep eating stuff, and I keep wondering why I'm doing this.
Tasty.
Well, I'm doing this because I need to. But, you know... It isn't really impacting gameplay at all. Which is not something I'm particularly unhappy about. Because I don't think it's necessarily the most interesting mechanic. But, if you are going to have a mechanic like that in your game, you should probably do something with it. Or just make it optional if you're not going to do something with it. So that, you know, people that don't like it don't have to deal with it. Because I have a feeling that is going to affect their sales a bit. Because a lot of people see like, oh, I need to do a lot of combat? No, never mind. I mean, the outrage when Dyson Sphere Program introduced combat. Even though it was optional from day one. I got so many angry people. Like when I made the video on the update with the combat. I explicitly said in the video, you know, combat is optional, you can turn it completely off, etc, etc. Still, so many people in the comments like, ah, combat, no, they ruined the game, and, you know, stuff like that. Okay, that is helium coming in as well, which means we're now producing nozzles. Yeah, I actually kind of like the... There's a meteor like right in the middle of my factory now. I kind of like the fighting. There's just too much of it, and it's a bit too repetitive.
Your cargo has reached the Selenian Corporation.
Especially if you're playing solo like I am.
Order, and your reward is waiting in the corporate
It's a little
terminal.
tedious. That was perfect timing actually. We just completed this one. And we're about to start on the next one. Sorry, so especially if you're playing solo, some areas have so many enemies in them. And then in combination with the amount of ammo that takes to, you know, actually clean out. I don't mind the smaller pockets, but... yeah, solution is just, you know, find friends. I mean, the mythical creature they call a friend. Maybe you can buy them with the game, I don't know. Who knows? Okay, so what are we making? Not turbines. We are making nozzles. So for this one and for this one. So let's just work on both of them. I think that will be fine because I don't know if there's anything else we can make. I think we can make valves maybe. I'll need to double check that, but for the moment let's just start working on both. Just in case if I start to go exploring, that we're sure that we're still working towards something. Yep, that's the nozzle. Yeah, and then let's go for the clever robotics again as well. Okay, so we are now working our way towards progressing with both of those. Hello, autosave. There we go. You totally suck at this fighting part and you had major problems until you unlock the turrets. Yeah, the turrets actually make things a lot easier. If you utilize them and if you have the ammo for them. The main thing is the turrets actually do take up quite a bit of ammo as well. They're not always super accurate, I feel. So yeah, you do need to take that into account as well. Okay, we have those claimed now. So we can start setting up refineries and sulfur extractors. So how does this work? This is going to just extract raw sulfur. Okay, that seems pretty straightforward. And then this is going to refine raw helium, sulfur, and powerium. That is extremely annoying to pronounce. Okay. Anyway. Turbines, valves, batteries, nozzles. So we are working on those. Hardening agents we could in theory make as well. I think that was still on this list, right? Oh yeah, but we needed the sulfuric acid for that. And then here... Okay. Getting there, getting there. Okay, oh, hold on. We can put some in there. And then in the oh look! We get to gather more helium. Okay. Anyway, sulfur ore in order to unlock pressurized helium. And pressurized helium was actually used for something as well, right? So for the future tech solutions. Okay. So then the real question is, what do I need to build those things? Advanced materials, sure. Sulfur extractor, sure. So this is all pretty straightforward. So we should have enough to bring in some of that stuff. Let me think. Am I going to do local production or not? I think we should do the refining like right where we are producing the sulfur. I think that makes the most sense. Now let me double check the recipes that we get after this. I think they're going to use sulfuric acid. So I assume this is the refined version of that. I'm pretty sure it is, actually. So then... Is this also acid? This definitely looks like it's sulfur. We know we have sulfur here, I think. Either there or here. Is there any closer? I mean, this might be more convenient. This is pretty close. Is it closer? Oh, this is... If we can mine it over here, this is definitely the closest one. That's not silver, it's... Oh, this one. Yeah, this lake. Yeah, I was here earlier today, actually, when I was doing the exploring. So I think I need to go in that direction. Hold on, let me double check. I do yeah, I have base materials as well, okay. Okay. So we are currently working on 2 new levels. And we are about to get a new resource added to the mix as well. We should be able to do most of this without fighting.
That's a snack.
I should probably holster my weapon. That makes things go a bit quicker.
Acquired.
Yeah. I like how the easiest way to explore the map is by using your building drone. They should definitely add like an exploration drone or something like that as well.
Come here.
Just double checking where I'm going. Now, honestly, this location is pretty close to that base. Just making me a little nervous. Because, you know, enemies spawn there. If that's gonna be a problem? I don't know. Is this not silver? Yeah.
I'm detecting a caustic hydrogen sulfide gas. I recommend moving away from the gas immediately.
Cannot build when active? So when can I build? Do I need to wait for like a rupture before I can start building here? Really? Okay. That is... Okay, I'm gonna just... That is just stupid. I mean... That's just such an artificial way to stop your progress. Can I mine this, maybe? I guess the answer is no. I mean, this just doesn't make sense to me.
Reloading.
Yeah, that's not gonna do anything. But this is just a stupid mechanic. Now I'm just gonna have to wait and do something else before I can progress again. Okay, that's a choice you can make, I guess. Let's see. Then let's take a second look at this here. Yeah, the downside of spreading your... Oh, we actually do get a new defense tower. Automatically aims and shoots at enemies, requires standard items to work, can be resupplied via drone wheels. Oh, that's it? It's just an automated version of the drones we already have. Okay. Well, I guess actually that is kind of cool, because you could set up like distribution systems and yeah, okay. Anyway, let's not be too critical. Yeah, I was about to say we can set up some... Well, actually we can do that. Hold on. So... do we have any other helium production, actually? Because we have the helium over here. I guess this is also helium? I don't actually remember seeing that much helium. This might also be helium. Again, right next to a base, maybe not the best place. Auto feed turrets with a much higher rate of fire. Okay, well, that makes sense, I suppose. I mean, it would have been nice to have the the markers on the map actually showing up on your HUD or something like that. Yeah, so that's even more ammo waste, but it's automated ammo waste at least. Oh, hello. Let me use my shotgun. I haven't used it yet. Okay. Oh, you do actually need to aim this pretty well. I think I like my my machine gun better. Or what it's called. Assault rifle. I mean, I play snipers in every like FPS or RPG that I play. So, since we just had people spawning on top of us, I've started to teach myself every time you fight enemies, place a base on top of where they spawn so you never have to deal with them again. Seems to be working. Honestly, I'm a little surprised that we haven't really seen enemies approaching from this base. I might have prevented them from spawning by building the other bases as well. Yeah, the assault rifle is kind of cool, I have to admit. What was I doing? I was going in this direction for some more helium. That was what I was doing. And then watch me building stuff there, and then not having enough building materials to do what I want in the other place, but, you know. We have to wait for a rapture, apparently. So we are using quite a bit of helium, so I'm gonna leave that factory alone because that's already supplying several places in my factory with helium. I'm hoping to find more helium there. Is this thing? This is like an old relic of building resource production. Now, I like these smaller asteroids because they are really easy to mine. And they give you the exact same meteorites that the bigger ones do. This one is still relatively large, but there's some smaller meteorites that go down really easily. How do I get up there? Because this guy is not good at jumping. Okay, hold on. Since the other things don't really work that well, this works. Now I remember why I haven't been there. Because it was a pain to get to. The map doesn't always do a good job of telling you how you go from A to B. Look at me complaining so much. There we go. Okay. That is helium, right? I have a feeling that there's going to be enemies here, so before I go anywhere... Yes? No? Maybe? I probably want to build a tower here then. More towers is better. Okay, so... helium extractors, there we go. 1, 2. And then we set up a sulfur extractor. Am I blind or did I not add it to the mix yet? No, I didn't add it to the mix yet. Okay, so a refinery. So how do you work? You have an input and an output, okay. That should not surprise me, probably. Okay, so let's set that up. We need power, I assume. So... I have too many things on my favorite list to the point that it's no longer really working as effectively as it was before. Okay, there we go. Oh, I thought we were under attack, but it's the humming of this building that is actually making that sound. Alright, we can't make the pressurized helium yet because we need sulfur ore first before... okay, well, we can set it up at least. Okay. What's the production rate? Do I know? Okay, this is going to produce one every 2 seconds. This had a way faster production rate. Yeah, so we can make a whole bunch of these things actually. For every one of these things. Honestly, you could make a very well argument to just use the other helium productions for this as well. But we're not going to do that because we're cool. We will make expansions to our factory. I don't know, something like that, and then some storage. Not like that actually, because that doesn't make any sense. Or, well, actually, yeah, we can actually make this work. So, just like that. Just hooks in like that. Let's fly a little lower so we can see what we're doing. Then we hook this into here. This into here. Like so. 1, 2, 3. And then we have a outgoing dispatcher over here. Like so. And then if we do it like this, then everything should be able to export through there. I mean, is it perfect? No, but it works. It's also going to...
Rupture activity detected.
Yay!
I recommend finding a safe place.
So this is the part where we go back to the sulfur. So overlapping towers really help with the heat buildup of your core. So the way I understand it is that if a building is in the area of 2 different towers, it will actually siphon its heat from both. So actually I don't think it works. Yeah, I might be wrong. But I actually think it just counts for both of them rather than split its production between both of them. Yeah, the sun only now just changed. I think you're right. Can I make it to the other place? Do I want to find out? Probably not. And dying now would be so silly. Why did you die? Were you like exploring, fighting aliens? No, I was trying to get to my silver. I like the view. Yeah, exactly. Well, there is a tiny reward in the sense that you save time if you move rather than just
Rapture's
stand
core
still.
is unstable. Head to safety immediately.
Okay, now what these corporations should be really utilizing is the flora on this planet regrowing like instantly, like within hours after an eruption. Honestly, the trees just surviving in the first place is super impressive, considering the heat. Yeah, the magic flora and fauna. Although oh, look at the star being pretty. It's kind of cool that you can see it so clearly now. Doesn't really make sense that you can see it that clearly, but free plasma. Lots and lots of free plasma. Yeah, for sure. I do really love how these buildings look. It's so cool to look over the map and see all those buildings just stick out. I just spent a lot of resources on building. Anyway, we'll have to see if we need to make some more.
Within acceptable parameters.
Okay, let me point myself in the right direction. Not that we can see where we're going. Yep, we are definitely going to the sulfur. If only to place down those things so we can actually, you know, get the raw resources. Because apparently that is how that works. It's so weird. Okay, anyway. There we go. We are here now. Let's make sure that we set these things up. So, sulfur extractors. Don't know how many we need, but... Not sure how picky this is going to be in terms of what I can build, if it's just the extractors that I couldn't build, or if I can build anything here. Just gonna make sure that I can extract my resources out of here. Okay, that should do the trick, right? Now, the real question is... Oh, the sound. Jeebus. Okay, this is super fast as well. So this is way more than my belt here can handle, but that's fine, that's fine. Let's see. Let's just start with this. Oh, you can... So you can build rails in the silver, but not the rest. Okay, well in that case, hold on. Let's do this a little bit more organized then. Because we have a... Yeah, we have a... Every single extractor is going to fill up a belt by itself, so it doesn't really make sense to combine these. Honestly, we probably don't even need 3. And I do want to make sure. So how many resources do I have left at this point? Not enough is the answer. So I'll delete the one in the back, because I'm also a little worried if that is going to attract creatures. I have a feeling 2 is going to be more than sufficient. I've been running my entire helium on 2 as well, so you know. And that is going to allow me to do at least build another one of these. Let's just get going with 1, to be honest, first. I'll leave the other one here, but we can add some more. Actually, hold on. Let's set it up in such a way that we can easily expand it, but let's get it going. Okay, there we go. So we have that. We have this. We also need power, but we'll get to that in a second. This terrain is so uneven, it's actually going to be hard to build a nice looking facility out here, so I might not even try. How many resources do I have left? I need 50 for the dispatcher. So I think this is about everything we can build, because how much were the refiners? 150. Yeah, I can't even build that now. Okay. This is a hazardous area as well. Why is this hazardous? Okay, let's just do it like that. This is just a little bit of a processing facility anyway. Nah, I can't do this. It needs to be a little bit nicer and organized than this. Okay, so hold on. If I had enough resources, could I build another one of those? I'm gonna leave that. Don't remove it, even though you want to, TDA. Let's do it like this. We have a dispatcher. We will place the dispatcher apparently a lot further along, because supposedly there's a hazardous region here as well. I'm really happy we built those things really quickly, because that respawn of the hazardous area is apparently really quick. We'll just do it like this then. But then it's still ugly. Why did I raise it so much? Oh, because of the rocks, probably. Okay. Well, let me try once more to see if we can keep it clean. The dispenser, can it go lower? Do we have any flat space? Well, this is sort of flat. Flat-ish. Fine. Let's see if we can do it like that. We can place That. And that. And then that. Yeah, leveling the terrain would be nice, although it's kind of like satisfactory if they do that and you can just tunnel your way through mountains and stuff like that. But there's definitely some improvements to be made there, I think. We also needed some of the raw resources from this thing, so I'm just siphoning some of those off. We can refine it there, we can extract it there, so then all we need is power. We'll probably need to expand on this design a little bit, but for now I think this should work. It doesn't want me to build too close to the other thing either. Can I please build my factory here in the game? Yes, okay, that works. Okay, so we should now see some sulfur incoming here soon, assuming I actually set the recipe. Oh. Okay, that's not gonna work. I need chemicals. Oh yeah, sorry, I probably stopped talking there. So with Satisfactory, the game doesn't allow you to level terrain and stuff like that either, because the map is fixed, same as in this game. So, you know, it would be really easy to get to the other side of the map if you didn't have to go around mountains and stuff like that. So it's really hard for developers to, you know, make the game interesting if you can go anywhere by just blowing up the terrain. Yeah, and well, super easy to build a platform. I mean, the verticality in Satisfactory, especially in certain areas, is quite extreme. I wouldn't say super easy, but yeah, you can get around pretty... You can get, let's put it like this, you can definitely get around easier in Satisfactory than you can in here. Okay, now the problem is I can't dispatch this because I don't have a receiving location yet. This is not working, obviously. And
The Raptura is in its
this is
stable
stuck.
stage. The climate of Arcadia is returning to normal.
And there we go. Okay. So, we do now have a functional facility that is actually exporting sulfur. Why are you still beeping? I don't know why you're beeping. Oh. Look, plants, yay! Let me check the recipes. So in order to make the pressurized helium, I need normal helium and I need this. And we already have that other thing set up as well. But again, we run into the problem we can't export it because we don't have an import place yet. So it doesn't really matter. This is gonna back up anyway. That's fine. Then I think what the next step is going to be is setting up a refinery with the chemicals that we're producing in order to make the sulfuric acid. And then we'll have to go from there. Oh yeah, we're definitely getting somewhere. How am I doing on parts? I can still build 6 more bases. That's quite a bit. Took some time earlier today during lunch to actually go around my base and clean up some of those meteorites. So yeah, having a whole stack of them made exploring a lot easier.
Arcadia 7 has finished regenerating.
Okay, well, you have to admit, this is starting to look like an industrialized zone now. Half of that stuff wasn't here when we started the stream. Well, maybe not half of the stuff, but a lot of the stuff wasn't here yet. I'm not actually sure how much faster you move without a weapon equipped. I do like seeing everything in action, really working. It's kind of nice. Actually, let's go through here. That's why I left myself the open space, so I could actually move through. Okay. So, let's recap. We are working on this one. We are working on that one. We want pressurized helium for this, which we can now make as soon as we get some of that other stuff in. And then we can start making other stuff as well. He said. Including the hardening agent, which we need in order to progress. And we can also, but first we need to start making the sulfuric acid as well, because that is what we need to actually unlock this, which we can do because we are using that. We are making chemicals. We're not using the chemicals anywhere in here, so that should be fine. So I think that is a pretty nice assignment for tomorrow, because it is 20 past midnight here. And you might notice I'm getting a bit tired because I am struggling to make coherent sentences. So, guys, I really appreciate you joining me and being as active in the chat as you have been, because that was quite fun, honestly. It makes it a lot more enjoyable to play when you guys are kind of like chatting along and playing along. So if you're still here, you are awesome. And I definitely hope to catch you in the next one.